Okay, and I've heard this story with a bunch of the men that I've interviewed who are
Mm.
involved in these freak offs. You're having sex with her, you pull out, and you come on her stomach,
Yeah.
and then what happens next?
They get up, go in the bedroom. I didn't think anything of it then. I just, she came out a couple of minutes later. Think she gave me a couple thousand more, maybe like 3,000 more. And then she told me that I could get dressed and go. I leave the hotel room, go downstairs. I actually leave the hotel. I get about a block away, and she calls me again. And she's like, "Hey, do you think that you can come again?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I can, man." I was actually very happy that she was giving me that call because I felt like I definitely needed a do-over there. I was a little embarrassed by how quick that session was. So I went upstairs again, and then I was there for a few hours with her.
During this time, were you and Diddy talking at all?
Nah, he was quiet, never said a single word
The whole time, both times.
until we were done during the second encounter that I came back upstairs.
Okay.
Then he spoke to me.
What did he say?
So, yeah, when we were done doing what we were doing, he comes up to me. We're both standing there, me and Cassie. He comes up and he's like, "Yo, bro, we really like you. You think that you want to continue seeing us like this?" And I was like, "Okay, it's cool." So, he tells her to take my phone number, but it was when he said anything to me at all, I instantly knew that was Diddy. Instantly. I was like, dude, I grew up idolizing this dude, man, like from the time I was in junior high school, man. So I knew like just about everything about this guy, man. I wanted to be just like him with the fashion companies and the real estate investments and, besides the music thing. I didn't know then that I could dabble in that, but yeah, there's only one person on earth that sounds like that, man. Like,
Yeah.
so I instantly knew, who that was. I still didn't know who she was though.
Okay, but I remember a couple of the guys I talked to, for example, Don the Dealer and Punisher both said this when they realized it was Diddy. They both said, they both started thinking, "Oh no, it's Diddy." And they started thinking about the gay rumors and everything else like that. Were you thinking of that at the time or no?
Nah, to be honest with you, I never thought this was ever gonna come out. One, the way that they barricade those rooms, by the way, man, like I'm talking thick curtains and they close them all the way to the T. They push that couch all the way up against the curtains to make sure the curtains can't, like, it is so dark in those rooms, you can't see anything, right? So I really wasn't worried about that. I knew that they were protecting their identity so much that 9 times out of 10, no one was really going to find out about this. That was one. But two, what she said to me in the beginning and the way that he had gone about that first session, I didn't even speak to him. He stayed totally far away from me. He wasn't interacting with her at the same time that I was. So I was cool, man. I felt like, okay, well, if he just wants to watch live porn or whatever, let him do that. Like, I'm here for her.
Okay, well, the second time you came up, didn't you ask about condoms?
I did. And she said that we could use it if I wanted to. But she said that she doesn't really do this kind of thing with anyone. This is something new that they're trying. And, she's been tested. She can give me her test results. And then I told her that I could do the same, give her my test results. And so she said, "Trust me, I'm fine. I'm clean. You don't have anything to worry about." So I stupidly trusted, took her word for it. Like, when you meet her, man, she has a way of convincing you. She's very soft-spoken. It seems very honest, seems very much like she wouldn't hurt a fly. So, and then there's that Love Jones, syndrome. So, yeah.
Well, as you continue to meet with her later on and all these other times, you never actually saw her test results.
No, like I gave her mine a multitude of times. And then every time that I would see her, she'd be like, "Oh, I did them and I just need to log in. I can't remember the password. Can I text them to you? Can I every single time. And you have to realize how she got away with that, right? It's not like I was with them probably for the course of 3 years, and I only saw them maybe 10, 12 times, right? So it wasn't like I was seeing them every week. I was seeing them, once this month, and then maybe 6 months later, and then 3 months after that. It was so spread out that it would make sense that, hey, listen, I would want updated results anyway. So she would tell me things like, oh, we're going to see you again real soon anyway. So, we want I want to get updated results. She gave me a multitude of reasons, but I never once seen her test results.
Okay, so you finished this second session the same night. They paid you again.
Yeah.
And you left with about 7,000 or so?
Like 6,000, somewhere around that.
Okay, and you still didn't know it was Cassie.
No.
But then she used her actual credit card.
Yeah. I went back and I told my boss. My boss and I were actually friends. So I told him what happened. I kept it real with him. And he was like, damn, really? And he wasn't mad at me because usually I would fire the guys if I found out that they were doing something like that, right? Or he would fire the guys because that's just not, it opens the company up to lawsuits, right? And this is a client that did purchase this service through that company. So it's entirely unethical. I make no excuses, right? But at the same time, she did use her credit card, and he looked it up and he was like, oh no, the name is Cassandra Ventura, and she is the girlfriend of Sean Combs right now. You could look at it, and that's the moment that I was like, oh shit, like I just had sex with Cassie. And
okay,
that blew my mind.
In the words of Cameron, how's the pussy?
Look, man. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I'm not going to answer that question.
Well, you came in a minute, so you pretty much answered it. So it's whatever.
There you go. Vlad, I lasted 60 seconds, brother. Yeah. So. Make of that what you will, brother.
I don't think I've ever lasted 60 seconds like in my life.
Thank you for stomping me down in the mud a little bit more, brother. I appreciate you very much, man.
Okay, so you go through that first night, and then 2 weeks later, she calls you back.
Yes, roughly, yeah. Okay. Now, understand, when I give you these timelines, and this is something that I would love for your audience to know. This happened 10 odd years ago, 13 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, right? And, the timelines get jumbled up when you're going back and you're trying to, recall of all of these events that took place. But not only that, there was some traumatic events that took place during this as well. So my mind simply tried to forget about all of this. I tried to walk away from this and act like it never happened and just move on, live my life. And then, this whole thing blew up and dragged us all back into it. So please don't hold me to the timelines, definitively. But it is generally speaking what happened,